Hi, my name is Dr. Lander here at Advanced Animal Care in Richmond, Kentucky. Today we're going to be talking about some myths about dog nutrition, and Ella, our marketing director, is going to ask me some questions.
Okay, Dr. Lander, first question. Is a dog able to live on a vegan diet?
So a vegan diet, I will say there's some vegetarian options, like for example our hydrolyzed protein, because a lot of times it's the protein source that animals can be allergic to if they have food allergies. So yes, but I will say protein sources need to be there somehow. So a strictly vegan diet, even vegans necessarily need their protein, we just have to be sure it's there.
So is wet food more nutritious than dry food?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily more nutritious. It may offer certain things that dry food doesn't, like wet food, for example, is really good if we're worried about moisture and ensuring that they get enough water throughout their day. Whereas dry may be better for their teeth, so that kind of kibble, that hard food breaks up the tartar on the teeth. Each one kind of plays their own role.
Are prescription diets better for my dog?
Prescription diets may be better for your dog if your dog has certain conditions that require that prescription. So as a whole, most dogs, happy, healthy, don't necessarily need a prescription diet. It's not a bad thing to start anyway. It's definitely not going to hurt your dog. But especially with the cost, maybe sometimes definitely not needed unless, certain things come up, like whether it be, they have osteoarthritis and we want to definitely make sure that they get lubrication of their joints, or, they're overweight.
So if my dog eats grass, does that mean they're missing something in their diet?
Not necessarily. I will say I think that's kind of a myth going around. I've heard that a lot, though they must be sick or they have an upset stomach. I think dogs sometimes just eat grass. They're bored. They like the taste of it. Kind of the point I'll hit later on is just making sure that they get carbs and whether it be grains, etc. in their diet. That's something they've eaten in the wild, whether or not they're eating out of a wild animal, etc.
So will human food make my dog overweight?
Human food has the tendency to make your dog overweight. They're already getting their normal diet. We probably aren't taking into account, the calories that extra human food does add, let alone that, our food sometimes is really fatty and can cause things like pancreatitis.
Will free choice feeding make my dog overweight?
Free choice feeding could make your dog overweight. I will say some dogs maybe really can just manage themselves well. They just eat enough to be full, but as a whole, I will say most dogs need to be fed on a schedule.
What are some other myths about dog nutrition that you hear as a veterinarian?
This is my favorite point. So grain-free diets right now have been going around as the big fad that's really, really important, in people's opinions. And maybe at one point it was for certain things, but I think it's getting overused. Unless your dog has been diagnosed with a food allergy by a dermatologist, if they're having skin issues, or an internist with GI upsets, we should not be using it. It's actually correlated to a horrible heart condition called DCM, and that's oftentimes fatal. So let's prevent that by not starting a grain-free diet unless it's been prescribed.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.